Senior lecturer at Queens University in Belfast. We're running out of time, so we just wanted to squeeze you in. Let me ask you about the Conservatives, the potential for them working with the DUP. What do you make of that coalition government if it were to happen? Are they natural bedfellows?
In many ways they are. They haven't had to do this before, but let's bear in mind that the DUP is used to being in coalition with other parties. It's used to being in coalition with Sinn Féin, which is entirely opposite to the DUP's ideology. So the DUP has very little to lose from this arrangement, and indeed it would see that itself as having a lot to gain from being kingmaker for Theresa May and her new government.
In what way will the DUP moderate the Conservatives' approach to Brexit? That's the important issue here.
That's a good issue. I mean, it's been said that the DUP is looking for a softer Brexit. That's not necessarily true. It's relied a lot on rhetoric to be able to say, essentially, that from Brexit it wants to see a stronger United Kingdom. So that's the priority of the DUP going into this relationship. It would be looking to ensure that the position of Northern Ireland within the UK remains very strong. And the DUP has been under some pressure, as has the Tory government, to explain what it means by Brexit and what it would like to see from Brexit. And it hasn't been able to answer difficult questions about the freedom of movement of goods and people. And so I think there's a potential there for some compromise on everyone's part to be able to look now for a slightly softer Brexit. Of course, that does pose particular challenges for Northern Ireland and internal politics within Northern Ireland. There'd be a lot of concern there for nationalists within Northern Ireland that London would have too much of a say and that nationalist views would be overlooked.
Let me ask you about the DUP's approach to the European Union. They were looking for, some would say anyway, that they were looking for a softer Brexit. What does the rest of Northern Ireland think about the whole idea of Brexit? It's a great worry for them?
It's a very acute worry for people in Northern Ireland, so it voted very strongly for Remain. 56% of people voted to remain. But of course, now the DUP party in the majoritarian system for the general election, the DUP Unionist Party has taken a very significant lead now, 10 out of the 18 seats. And the fact that Sinn Féin, as the Republican Party, which is very much anti-Brexit, won't be taking up its seats, mean that within Westminster there's just one person, an independent MP, Lady Sylvia Herman, who will be offering what you might say a fair representation of Northern Ireland's view within Westminster about Brexit. The land border between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland, it would be the UK's only land border with the EU, and there are significant challenges in how to manage that after Brexit.
Katy, you raised a very interesting point there about how Sinn Féin will not be taking up their seats in Westminster. Can you, just for the benefit of our international audience, explain a little bit about the history of that and how it changes the number of seats that any particular party needs to effectively have a working overall majority?
Yes, it's a point that hasn't really been brought out so much. So because Sinn Féin, a strong nationalist Republican party, so it sees its affiliation very much as being to Ireland rather than to Britain, and would ultimately like to see United Ireland. On that basis, it refuses to take up seats in Westminster on a matter of principle. It doesn't want to take an oath of allegiance to the Queen. And so it means that effectively there are 7 seats there that are not taken up from Northern Ireland. So for effective working majority, Theresa May actually doesn't need to get the absolute majority that she's been looking for. However, being sure of her position, she was looking to get these extra 10 supporters, 10 MPs from the DUP party to make sure she crosses that line and getting the absolute majority within the Parliament. There are significant implications in Northern Ireland for the peace process in all of this. So the political talks that were ongoing and had to be suspended due to the election, they're meant to restart now. And the positions of the DUP...
for your contribution to TRT World.